What up, fellow comrades? Before I start this video, I'm gonna say that me personally, I am still also learning Warframe. So each time I master something down, Warframe wouldn't be getting posted as much as Rainbow, but once again, I do have a lot of videos. So for every game I play, well, I decided to get on here. But yeah, anyways, yeah, I am still learning Warframe as well, but when I master something, I do pass it down onto you guys. So especially for my newcomers at that. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about farming and gun usage. So I know everyone knows like how stacks work, like stacks and weapons and frames in general at that too, because in Warframe, your Warframe in itself can do stacks, your melees can do stacks, and your primaries could do stacks, even your secondaries. So in a sense of, as of right now, is a primary, yeah. So Warframe being on is big on farming, I feel like a lot of people would also love and hate it, but there's a lot to do. So honestly, on hating Warframe shouldn't be a big deal on Warframe on itself. On farming, I feel like people will only hate it only because it takes forever to farm. Well, that's the fun in it actually, and that may sound stupid, but it's like, yeah, forever how long you want to farm on one planet, that in itself is stressful. But exploring the planet in itself, you would find a lot of stuff that you do need, because this game Warframe, it doesn't tell you the side missions. Like, I think I have a clip in here, I do have one in here, whatnot, but side missions, as in you have to find additional things for your mission. It's like you can do your mission in exfil, but that side quest will only come about once. So if you miss that side mission, it would never pop up again. So it's like you have to actually explore the map, and then you would actually realize, this map is pretty bigger than what I thought it was, you know? So that's why I feel like Warframe in itself, it can really be stressful planet-wise, but farming is not pretty that bad, and I feel like people would actually love it because you can do so much and you're not limited to nothing, you know? And I feel like the only thing you're limited to on yourself on farming is other frames, because yes, if there's like a one-time thing on frame on farming and like a certain item, and if a teammate takes it, it is gone. Like, it's gone. Like, is like, when I say it's gone, it's gone. Only certain modes as like defending modes, because defending is like something that y'all all already in. It's not like everyone's going their own direction. It's like y'all already in one spot, so why not make that item not disappear? But in like open world or whatnot, or even like something like a different mode, that item you need from that planet will disappear if someone grabs it first. So be careful. But yeah, that's what I said about Warframe, like the whole recap about it. But it's not a bad game, honestly. I like playing it. I don't have no one to play with, but I enjoy playing by myself. But to the video. So farming takes a step further in frames if you want to be in depth, because there's also certain frames you can use to like farm, you know. Like there's a op I got, Chimera, not Chimera, Kara, whatever her name is. It's like she's mainly built for farming. Literally, like her whole thing is on farming, literally. And yeah. But right now, let's focus. What's up with y'all? Weapons. As you can tell, my weapon has toxic damage, and the yellow, it's their shield, and then the white is just their health. That right there is my spectator. So if you guys don't know, if you do play on a nightmare mode on any planet and you drop any spectators, they will go against you because it's nightmare. So everything is on negative, you know what I mean? So like, for example, I think this mode, it was, I get drained energy. On the bottom right, you see how I just got 26 energy and it got taken away from me. That's the game mode. So every nightmare has its own thing on, like, its cons on it. So I'm not saying be careful what you pick, but like honestly, be careful, because if you have the wrong op and you need energy on that op, you won't get energy because it's gonna get dripped down, sucked away from you, literally. So yeah. Anyways, you notice how my weapon has toxic, and then the yellow it's their shield, the white is their health, and then depending on how much damage you do, I think if you notice, if you look closely, the darker orange it's their overshield. And it's not much overshield, you can see like 110, 20, like you can see it, but it's like much as that's what the gun focuses on. So you can honestly make your weapons focus on one thing and one thing only, which is okay. But sometimes it's stronger and weaker on certain enemies. As you can tell, you see the hammer, you see the little slash. So I do have impact and slasher on my weapon because I like my weapons to tear, And think about it, that is an LMG and it has a DMR in itself, as you can see here. So how does it work? Certain weapons have 2 in 1. So you can also have it on auto or have it on semi. You see under on the bottom right corner, you can see there it says semi. You can change it in and out. You can change it however you want to, but the thing is you shoot your ammunition out. So when your ammunition is low, it would reload it. So you make sure you reload it and then shoot it out so you can actually use full of it, all of it, But like I was saying before, I have impact and slasher on it because think about it, and puncture too. Think about it. You would want a LMG to have that, like to puncture enemies, like easy damage, and then you can cut through flesh, in robots. You know what I mean? So you can honestly build your weapon on anything how you want, depending on your mods and what you have. So, and you can also put like elements. I think I already went over elements, but just to say this, like you can tell like my toxic element is literally following him. That's how powerful it can get. So, and it does take crowd control. So if there's a crowd of enemies and you have like a certain element on and then you shoot one enemy, it would get on other enemies and it would do more damage because it's stacking. And that's the other thing I'm gonna go over to, is stacking. Yeah, so even though I'm not shooting one of the other enemies, I'm still getting damage points because the toxic, as you can see there. So it's like don't really put your weapons on like, what's the word, like don't really put it on impact, slash and puncture. Also give it a little bit of element because the elements can help a lot, and it can also buff your gun as well. Of course it will. So it can also buff your gun as well. And prime example here, that was a bit of a crowd of an enemy, and then my gas literally just took them all out less than like 5 seconds. Just how much I'm hitting them, and then it's stacking. It's stacking on top of each other the moment I shoot. So when I shoot, it builds. As you can see here, so the more I shoot, the higher it goes. And then if I leave it there, it's gonna do damage, but the more they shoot, it's gonna stack, you know what I mean? As you can see here, he's taking actual health. Like the white is their actual health, and like how he was like, he looked like he was bleeding out his body, which he actually was, because you know what I mean? That's how deep Warframe is, and I love playing Warframe, and I just really hope people actually play this game because it's literally not bad, honestly. It's really good. And I want to touch on stacking. Look on the bottom right. You see how I see 5k. I'm stacking my combos. So to really stack on your weapons, you have to perform a combo, and you have to consistently do it, and you have to actually hit your combos. You just can't do combos out in the open and expect a stack and then do damage. No, of course, but you really have to hit your enemies and stack the damage. And while you were seeing there me going in and out my frame, my operator, I have a buff where when I go out my operator, I get energy back, and I get a 1% chance, I think 1 or 5% chance of a stack rate. So, and then that also goes under your status. your stats. So yeah, that's really a small touch on melee stacking at that. I do have another one on strictly on meleeing, but right now it's for primary weapons. And then yeah, your primary weapon can honestly be a good weapon if you know how to build it, and it can also be bad because sometimes when you put everything all in one weapon, like for example, like if you just put like puncture on your primary and and after that you just put it all on elements. It is good to have more elements than puncture, but once again, some elements are immune, excuse me, some elements are immune to enemies. So like infected and toxic, they do combine, but on the bigger bosses it wouldn't do as much, and that's when the stat comes in with puncture and impact and slash, because minus the toxicity and the infected is actually literally, it won't really be immune, but you would do less damage because the infected is literally made out of toxic, so why would it do damage, you know what I'm saying? So then you will have the impact in the other combos play its role, and that's where the role actually begins, is when that actually plays a part. Because think about it, if you want to take down a zombie, you wouldn't use zombie gas, you know. You probably use a gun, you probably use a knife, you probably use this and that, but at some advantages for yourself, you would probably put like an element on that weapon to take out that zombie faster, you know what I mean? So, and to make sure it's actually dead. Same thing with Warframe. You can also put elements on anything you want, but make sure you try to balance it out, because it is important to make sure it's balanced, because if it's not balanced, your gun will be actually weak. And even if your gun is leveled up to level 30, that's the max level, your gun will still be weak even though you have all these elements. It's like, you probably be like, why is it still weak? Because you're having it strictly on elements, not actually on hitting life. So to explain elements more, elements don't really hit flesh, they hit the overshield and the shield. And then you would really want to target the flesh, so you would have, once again, the stacks, the impact, the slash, and the puncture. So in a sense of that, of saying that in that one sentence, you would want to balance it out, because if you don't balance it out, you're going to be trash. And the max level is 30, but you can buff your weapon on how much you want, kind of like prestige, not prestige, prestige. So you can have level 30, you can reset it, so it will be a level 30 rank 1. You reset it again, level 30 rank 2. You know what I'm saying? And so on and so on and so on. So you can keep doing it for your weapons, and it actually does make it stronger. You can grow your capacity on weapons. I feel like me, what I've seen the highest capacity for my weapons I actually made was like 75. And like the lowest is like probably like 5, not 5, like 10, like 20. But of course it's level 1, so it will be on low capacity, but the more you play with the weapon, it will level up, and then you will have more capacity. You would have more capacity in itself while it levels up, and then that would be the max for that level. But once you upgrade it again, it would get more capacity. Just add it, honestly. And then yeah, that's for primary weapons. It's not hard to really look at it, because you can read the mods, and the mods tell you what to do. And then on the stat sheet, when you do add and disable mods, they do give you like a green and a red for like if it's good for it or bad for it, or just the same, you know. Because in some cases you would want to make a gun so good, but you will realize you have the same exact mods on this weapon like the other one, and they do the same exact thing. So it wouldn't be much fun as just using the same mods. Two things will happen: you want to get more mods, or you want to change up the mods, you know what I mean? So yeah. And framing, well, we're not on framing, but farming is also a big thing too, I want to touch on as well, because this game will not give you side quests. Like you would have to accept the side quest. It's not like you have to find the quest. It's the fact that you have to go through a quest to find a quest. Makes sense? Because I've noticed when I was playing the other day, I had a unknown quest I had to unlock. I'm like, this game didn't tell me this. It was only the main quest, but the side quest is you literally have to go out your way and find that side quest because the game ain't gonna tell you. You have to go out your way and go to planets, talk to people, and see what's going on. You know what I mean? So it's kind of in depth, honestly. And to really show, I just put down a spectator and he's not red. So currently I'm not playing on a nightmare mode. I'm playing a regular mode on survival, honestly. And yeah, let's talk about farming and stacking on melees. So really farming, this guy right here on your screen, I'm gonna talk about him more. Him right here. Uh, the way to farm on a Warframe, it's not hard, but you have to get items in order to farm. Like for example, this scanner I have out here, I'm currently searching for a corrupted enemy. He's not really corrupted, it's just the fact that he's out of his region. So to really explain it more, it's like what I'm doing is the guy who was talking, he collects corrupted enemies, and then I guess this corrupted enemy has a mind of its own, and then he's trying to escape, basically. You know what I mean? Because on this map, if you've seen the story mode, I played it on stream. Uh, they weren't hacked, but they were brainwashed. So I guess this corrupted here got on the loose and running away, and I'm looking for him right now. See, I'm just trying to scan him, but yeah. To order to get this scanner, you have to really level up for one, and then you have to buy it with credits. So yeah, and that's one way of farming. So it's like you really have to pay attention how you farm, because sometimes, once again, the game wouldn't tell you. You have to go out your way and go farm and go find stuff and go talk to people, and maybe also go do your own little thing and maybe end up finding it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's it on reaching the farm. It wasn't really on farming, but it was just much on the fact that farming is really a big deal in Warframe, and that's why I say Warframe is the ultimate game for farming. If you love farming stuff, it'll be for you. Stacking, bottom right corner, once again. Melee stacking. I already said it before, you have to connect your combos. You have to do combos in order to make it to connect and stack. And if you don't stack it, if you don't hit combos, it won't stack. You would just do damage. But also in a sense, if you don't end up doing combos and you don't stack, you do build a momentum. And I think you may see me go in and out my frame and operator to build my momentum and my stat, because when you do that, like I said before, it gives me energy, and then it boosts my my status on my weapon. And yeah, I currently have what is it? I have what is it? I have magnet on my melee. So it's electric, magnet, and I think to make magnet you have to put electric, and I think it's not fire. It's something I gotta do to get magnet. But yeah, magnet is the ultimate. In my opinion, it's the ultimate element, because magnet defeats everything. Even if it's corrupted, it defeats everything. So getting magnet on your weapons is so good. And on my SMGs, on my secondaries, you can see how you see the little spike ball, voice crack, the little spike ball. That spike ball is actually blast damage. So time to time when I'm shooting, there are actually little baby bombs blowing in his face. So imagine that. Imagine that doing damage to you. You know what I mean? So and I strictly have it on slash and puncture, not impact because they are fast guns. So I want them to slice and dice fast as possible, and also if they can't do that, just blow up. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's called blast. Yeah, a little bit of impact too, but yeah, it's mainly on slash and blast. But uh, but yeah, that is the weapons. The Warframe talk. Couldn't really say much out like I intended to, but this video wasn't that long. But you get what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to comment and I will answer them. Or read on it and enjoy.